Here we go. Hello and welcome into the Section 109 podcast from Studio Breezy. Matthew just questioned if I hit the record button.
I was getting ready to say something.
I wasn't questioning it, but now I am. I will sneak over there and check it in a moment. I already did check it once, but now I am doubting it.
I got you. Keep going.
Okay,
Keep
cool.
going.
I am here with the aforementioned Matthew, Ellie, Bobble Juan, and the beautiful man behind the camera that has now come in to sit down, who doesn't know this, but I now have a clip of him anytime something happens where it zooms in on his face and he goes, points at the camera and goes, "We'll be right back." And then I have the SpongeBob
Hey,
thing.
where is that? Where is that Christmas tree? Because it was just like right here.
Correct, we have removed it. It was here last night. You see Christmas has been mostly removed. See, the stuff has gone off the hearth.
Nice.
Matthew was here yesterday and it was in full
God.
Christmas bloom. And the Breezy household de-Christmases quickly.
I wanna
Not
point
quickly,
out-
like early on date-wise, just quickly when we
Hang
start.
on, you told me last night January 15th.
I did.
And I have on good authority it's not January 15th.
Well, turns out it's January 14th.
Well,
No, we just picked today because it was easy because we were both off. But yeah. So, guys, I will share a personal thing in my life, a very big change for me. As a guy who always thought that Christmas decorations should go up on the day after Thanksgiving at the earliest and come home on the first of the year at the latest, I've changed my mind.
Really?
To what?
I have grown, I think, a day after Halloween, anytime after Halloween to January 15th. If I'm going to store all this dumb shit in my house, might as well use it.
I mean, it does pump the vibes up.
The vibes are good. I have a
Depending on
CFC
your
Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Depends on you. Depends if you like Christmas. But I've decided I'm in. I'm in full on Christmas. That gives me 2 months and 15 days to enjoy Christmas. And Ella will be happy about that. So,
Hey, well, since we're sharing personal stuff, this is the most hungover I've ever been.
hell yeah, bro.
So,
Do you want to share any of your escapades from last night?
oh man, just Main Street Meats and Paxborough Rim. That's it.
What were you
Shout
drinking?
out. A few things, but mostly old fashions.
That'll do
because
it.
the old fashions at Main Street Meats are draft and they're fire.
are they really?
Yes, I didn't know that until last night, and I had like
Okay, well,
4 and a fillet.
I love it, dude.
Dude, the fillets there are good.
Oh, it's incredible.
Ellie, what have you been up to last? How was your New Year's? How was your Christmas?
Pretty good. Just not teaching. Just been great.
Heck yeah.
When did you go back, or when do you go back?
We went back last Thursday, so I'm praying for snow. Everyone.
I don't think prayers are needed, Ellie. I think it's going to happen.
I've been hearing
God.
that since we were children, Jay. I don't know.
So
that's
like
true.
this
That's
is
true.
this podcast will likely come out in such a way that if you make any predictions about snow right now, people are going to hear that and already know if you're wrong.
Most likely.
So like just be prepared about
Dude, I'm gonna
predicting spirit.
post a meme like Paul Barris back in the day when he would
Hell
shit
yeah.
on people. I used to love that. People be like, Paul Barris is a freaking idiot. He doesn't know and it wouldn't snow after everybody said it. And he always posted this one meme of him like pushing doors open, and he was like, "Yeah, bitches."
I will note that there is I saw some pictures right before we started recording, and Memphis is
Yep.
already got covered. With a
No way.
They were really dusting, yeah.
Dude, just a shout out that maybe no one will go look up, but my favorite guy on YouTube, his name is Ryan Hall, and he's a weather streamer from Kentucky, Paducah, Kentucky.
Hell
But he's
yeah.
a storm chaser, and he used to be like a news guy, but then he went to YouTube and just like blew up. So he does a 4 model prediction, and typically he's more right than other people, and he does like really cool forecasts and stuff. So Jonathan would probably knows who
I
he
love
is,
this.
So. And shout out Jonathan. He also is good with weather.
He is my number one.
Jonathan, please answer my specific question.
So speaking of getting predictions right, we have some signings, and I'm hoping Rod gets his predictions right on these signings. Matthew, will you take us through them, please?
Yeah, so we have
Also, would you explain to everyone, or I'll explain to everyone actually before you start. Matthew's calls with me are much less bad and much less annoying when we have signings. So CFC, please keep signing players at a reasonable clip so Matthew will be less grumpy on the phone.
that's yeah, that'd be nice. So we had the signing of Jesse Williams several weeks back now.
Which I believe we've already talked about.
Yes, we've already talked
Yeah,
about him.
that's what I
But
I was like, I
kind
thought we
of-
had a news pod.
as a recap,
Sure.
beyond the initial batch of players returning, they added Jesse Williams, who projects probably as a right back for us. Trinidad and Tobago international.
Full international, too.
Yes.
Awesome.
You've got the next player that was announced just after the new year was left back Milo Garvanyan.
We're gonna find out it's Milo. Just wait.
He is an Albuquerque native. Played last year with New Mexico United, his hometown club. I think they went professional after he already went to college at the University of North Carolina,
Good school.
where he
like
was
that
a
pedigree.
He was a 5-year starter there.
Okay, Ellie.
You don't have to talk about the school, but ACC soccer
There we
is
go.
awesome.
I'll-
From Clemson and all the
exactly.
other teams that are in there.
I mean, historically a powerhouse in soccer.
Yeah.
11 goals, 15 assists, and 86 appearances for UNC in 5
yeah.
seasons.
Hell yeah.
Pretty damn good.
That's
Damn.
26
left
direct
back.
goal contributions from left back.
That's awesome.
Crazy.
Hell yeah.
And furthermore, North Carolina, for those that don't know, play a similar style to that of Rod. A lot of times college soccer is all over the fucking place.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I think Carolina has a lot of success in both recruiting, and you see a bunch of Carolina players playing in the pro game
Yep.
at a high level. And I think a lot of it's because
a Mr. Greg Berhalter, a Sebastian Berhalter,
both of them,
Claudio Reyna.
There's always
I'm not saying they're good guys. I'm just saying they're big in the pro game.
but I mean, just in the last few years,
there's
you
some
saw
two names you just put out there that are like big U.S. soccer controversy.
Like
Yeah.
mic drop there. Like,
and obviously the women's program is huge and among the top 3 in the country or something like that. But yeah, North Carolina plays very, very similar to the way CFC does.
Nice.
You got to be able to play multiple positions. You got to be able to play the position of the part of the field that you're occupying in that moment. I like his ability in possession. I like his ability to wander into the attacking third and be productive. I think that will serve him well with us. And for the first time in some time, we have 2 really good, competent left backs on the roster at the same time.
Yeah,
and more than
very
anything,
competent.
they're both left-footed.
Yeah, that too.
Which 2 years ago we had 2 competent left backs and neither one was left-footed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hey, and one thing is
And last year we had 1 competent. Don't no one shit on Joseph Perez. We just only had 1 and we got really lucky. He never got hurt.
And some of my friends, we all love JP. He's
back, baby.
I know, and I love that. He's my favorite player in the club. But competition only makes a club stronger. So
Absolutely.
filling up a 1 and a 2 spot there is
Let's go.
It's good. A
yeah.
lot of my friends are like, "Oh no," I'm like, "Don't say
Oh,
oh, no."
oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think
That's a drop I need. I need the Kool-Aid Man drop.
Yeah.
I think
true.
what you saw last year and really the past 2 years with Rod is that we'd have a pretty good starting 11. And we'd have 12, 13, and 14 were also pretty good, but there was a pretty big drop off from like the starting level players to like guys who
Reserve.
we're backups, right?
Yeah.
And based on, let's go through the next couple, but I think what we're seeing is trying to add competition for places and bring the floor of the squad up.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that is directly attributable to being in MLS Next Pro now and having just a better level for domestic players.
Yeah.
And also now the ability to participate in the international transfer market, which we'll get to in a second here. Next up is Robert Screen. It's a
Shout
right
out.
back from Raleigh, North Carolina. He spent 2023 with Ford Madison.
Yep.
Making 17 appearances. I think 1 start in the Open Cup, and otherwise everything else was off the bench. He projects. I think we project him more as a right back for us. So competition for Jesse Williams, and potentially a regular starter at right back if Jesse is on international duty,
Which would be
Which
pretty
is-
important because if
Yeah.
which
Jesse's
is
playing
likely to happen in March in the international window.
That makes me
Because
so happy for you
Trinidad-
to even have that as a subject to speak
Correct.
about.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Trinidad and Tobago will play Canada in I don't know if it's a one-off or a 2-leg tie for the right to play in Copa America, which could mean more time off
Yeah.
for Jesse. And obviously playing in Copa America would be a massive honor and accomplishment for him. So
Wow, what a competition to go from, especially in like as a selfish person, like being able to get to know a guy on our club and then watch him go play in something like
Yeah.
Copa America. And
exactly.
oh, dude, just the content alone.
Yeah.
like,
So
it's awesome.
Robert had 4 goals and 18 assists and 88 appearances for the University of Kentucky. He was also a 5-year player. A lot of guys coming out of college are 5-year players now because of the extra year for COVID.
Oh yeah, that's
So,
Yeah.
you know, welcome Milo and Robert. And we then, today, recording day, we got a special little noon treat.
Yep.
A center back, Duvan Villafara.
I am really excited about this one. If you haven't watched his tape, y'all, DM the pod and we'll send you the tape that we saw, that we found. It was a little hard to find on YouTube. It exists. You can find it. But his highlights up to 2022 are awesome.
So
It reminds me of Tolly, but Colombian in like the best possible way.
Yeah.
Big, imposing, really smooth on the ball, left-footed. Tolly's right-footed. He feels like the perfect foil to me, at least on video, for Tolly.
Yeah,
I love it.
you're looking a little bit more athletic in terms of his like ability to move. Not that Tolly is like slow or anything,
No.
but
How dare you?
he's more like 6'2" compared to 6'4", 6'5", or whatever. And I mean he's big.
Yeah.
I mean he is a unit. You know what I'm saying? Played in
Smooth on the ball.
Very smooth. That was my favorite part because you have to be with Rod, right?
correct.
Yes.
Yeah,
Not-
it's
he's
there
not
is
gonna
no
allow
option.
you to just sit back there.
There
Exactly.
is no option to not be smooth on the ball.
Yeah.
So
Smooth.
grew up in Colombia, played for several clubs in the Colombian first division and the second division.
Heck
He played the previous, I think, year and a half. No, just a year.
1 year.
Just a year for 2 different clubs in the first division of Venezuela. So he's 25 years old. He'll make his move to CFC, and I think I think now you see that there's going to be some competition for places, obviously, especially at outside back. But I think now with Tolly at right center back and now Duvan at left center back, that's a pretty good back line.
Yeah, no doubt. And
Absolutely.
bolstering is important not only for competition, but also I want to go on a deep cup run. You know, and
Yes.
you gotta be able to play one game on the weekend and one game during the week, and be able to switch it up and keep guys healthy. So
100%.
more
So
legs.
we'll keep talking about as signings happen. Obviously, there's we only have 3 midfielder players on the roster: Luis Garcia Sosa, Alex McGrath, and Richard Dixon. So we're expecting more to happen there in midfield.
Yeah.
We've got 3 wingers now, so we're expecting. I would think at least one more, and then there's been nothing at the 9. Obviously they're working behind the scenes. It's not like they're not doing anything. So as things happen and as deals get closed and as CFC announces those deals, we'll keep talking about them.
Dude, and can I give a quick shout out? I literally have commented on CFC's posts, and whoever is making those signing graphics, that is fire, bro.
They are sick.
I don't know if I've said that on the pod or whatever when we talked about Jesse Williams, but
I don't think
those
so.
Graphics are fire.
Because now
I saw you comment. I saw you comment on Instagram
dude,
today.
the player card and then turning
They're
it over
sweet.
for the information, dude. A home run.
Absolutely.
Freaking sick, dude.
I will ask. I really hope that, or I will say, I hope CFC like makes a card deck now. Like
Oh,
as
shoot.
nice as those look, that would be the coolest merch item.
So I
like,
would be,
ever.
I'd be
Ding,
pretty
ding,
surprised
ding,
if we
ding.
don't. So they wanted to do it in the past. They talked about doing it, but with college players before the NIL stuff,
Right.
They would potentially lose their eligibility. They actually made some in, I think it was year 1, and then they had to quickly like hide and pretend they didn't make them because there was the image and likeness of those players, and they
Yeah.
could have been in trouble with the NCAA, even if they
You
didn't
literally
receive
could not
compensation.
you could not sell those for money.
Right.
And
So
and
it
like
was just bullshit
the
rules that don't exist anymore.
And,
but
and the club could not accept that money.
Right.
Like didn't even have to go to the player. Like the club could not make money on those players' image.
Right.
which is fucking crazy, by the way.
Yeah,
and
I know.
now that's not like that. Now it's not like that. But when we were amateur, when they did those, tried to do cards, that was the reason that we didn't have cards through all those years.
Yeah. And now that NIL is a thing, and I know you guys watch this, EA Sports, give me my freaking NCAA football game.
That's right.
Bruh.
Damn it.
Bruh.
I don't want to have to jailbreak
My-
another freaking Xbox to be able to play it. I
My
wanna
my entire college group chat is probably gonna like try to resurrect like the old dynasty mode, like get like 6-10 guys
Oh my
into
God,
a,
yes, dude.
into a season together.
Oh, well,
Are they all
I
going to
play-
be Xavier?
Yeah.
No, we don't have a football team. Are you
I
kidding
know.
me?
That's why it's fun.
Oh no, it's,
Well,
it would get lit. Like guys would choose like Texas A&M, Tennessee,
Nice.
Random other
We used to do that too.
like
I
just
play
adopt
Revamped.
random teams.
Yeah.
What's revamped?
Revamped is the jailbroken illegal version that is updated
By like some mod.
It's a mod.
maker?
Yeah, I have a mod.
Hell
I have
yeah.
a modded Xbox. My cousin's awesome. He gives it like he'll give it to me every now and then because he's like, I gotta play. Like we gotta be able to talk about this. So
Dude,
I just want to be able to have like a real DLC version.
Yeah,
And, like
I was not a big like football, like EA Sports football player in college or whatever, but I would still be a part of the dynasty mode.
Yeah,
and they were intense about it. Like everyone had to like play their game and do the recruiting for the week in one day.
nice.
Like that Xbox was running constantly.
That's awesome.
I love it. So let's move on to some resolutions.
Let's do it.
Let's first, if you guys are okay with this, go over some of our 2022 for 2023. So let's call them 2023 resolutions and see kind of how we stacked up. So I'm going to first go to the podcast resolutions. Not everybody had big podcast resolutions, but Matthew had 3, and I'm going to read these out. And then Matt, I'm going to ask you to see how we did. You had interview Coach Randy, which is very binary. That was a yes. So that's something we got done. You had more women's team player interviews. How do you feel like we did there?
I think we did more,
We did.
but like barely.
Correct.
So like, yay, but also we need to do better,
And you said more women's team content.
which we definitely did do. We did more women's team recaps. I guess like I think it was one more player interview pod,
Which had
two
two more players. Correct.
and
you guys actually participated in this. You participated in this one.
yeah,
The year before you didn't.
did I not?
No, the year before Amanda Moore and I did them.
Did you do both of them though? I think I did one of them because it was in your. I think we did one of them. I definitely did.
I'm
the
just
one-
saying it was a step forward.
I definitely did one of them. But and then like we did more content around kind of a preview, a review,
just like we did for the men's team.
the Randy podcast, and then game reviews and whatever. So we definitely did more, and I'm happy with that side of it. And yeah, like it was a good step forward. I think when we look at 2024, I think most of my stuff on the podcast is going to revolve around how do we maintain our cadence at game reviews and keeping that side of things going, but not losing track on like what made us who we were, which is interviews.
Beautiful.
And getting to know the humans.
a little preview there. Jay didn't have anything on podcast written down. Did you have any podcast from last year review things that goals that you remember? I don't think you made any.
No, because
specific.
you had all of mine.
Cool.
Yeah, so I remember telling you that. I was like, yeah, I'm just not even going to do anything because I totally agree with you. So you can go to yours.
Beautiful. I just didn't want to leave you out there in case.
No, it's all good.
So mine last year were, and I had this.
Hey,
Where did it go?
if my resolution was let's get better, then we did it. So
Hell yeah. So I think yours and mine kind of off the pod was video, but we didn't say that out loud on the pod.
Yeah.
But we've been talking about it before. So 50 episodes was my podcast goal. We did that. 10 CFC women's players. We did 6. So we got progress, but we didn't get there. Interview Randy, we got that. And I said 90% of games review. I did not go back and count them, but we only skipped like 2 games, I think, or 3 games for the entire season, men's or women's, which took us over the 90% in any case, because we had like 37 games to review or whatever. So we were over the 90% to begin with. I didn't go back and look because I remember the specific ones we missed. I was happy. I was happy overall, and we added video. I got some things that I want to do. We'll see if you guys agree to them, but I got some things I want to do in 2024. Okay, Matthew, let's go. Or Jay, do you want to do should we do yours first? Your 2020, your previous resolutions?
sure. The continuing to improve the game day experience. That one.
Yeah, you had changed the stadium playlist.
Oh, I think I'm reading the wrong thing. So just read them out loud.
So you have changed the stadium playlist.
Yep.
Oh no, wait. Maybe I'm reading the 1 year. No, I think you're right.
No,
Continue. I'm sorry.
you want to start.
I'm too far back.
Jay's is on. Starting
Continue
with,
to improve game day experience.
Yes.
Keep going, Jay.
Check. More food trucks or a food truck night. That didn't happen. I may continue. That may spill over into 2024.
Love it.
Keep the gates open on the pavilion side. That I don't think I experienced where I had to go in like there was a couple times last year where the pavilion gates weren't open. I had to walk all the way around to the front. This year that didn't happen.
I think that was a Chris Thomas special.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, okay.
I'm just saying, I
Good
think that was the
riddance.
fuck up.
Yeah,
there.
and then for Rod to make progress and continue build, and that has definitely happened.
Hell yeah. And just for anyone that doesn't know, we're not leaving Ellie out. Ellie wasn't on last year's pod yet. She hadn't even made her debut yet, so she didn't make New Year's resolutions. So we're not going to ask her to remake ones for last year and tell us if she got them done.
That just means she's going first when we start doing
Oh boy.
things.
That's very mean, Matthew.
I just want to. I say that because I want it to be like more without the benefit of extra ideas.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
So like
very
go,
rude.
I want you
That's
to
very
I want you to
rude.
go in whatever direction you want to go in.
He doesn't mean
make notes.
No, what he means is if you got some good ones, he wants you to have yours and not be poorly influenced by us. Is all he means to say.
Don't worry, I'm using this as inspiration. Don't worry.
Matthew, let's talk about yours, and let's not try to spend too much time on them. For me as well, because we could spend a long time talking about them. So because there's a lot that happened last year.
Yep.
So I'll read yours and you tell me how you're feeling about them. So your CFC resolutions on the field for the men was to win the motherfucking league this time. That's a direct quote. Regular season or playoffs, but win one of them.
Job done.
That's easy. CFC women, time for a big step. Host a playoff match. You said conference playoffs is fine. I think that means to be top 2. Nashville will be hard to overcome in a single offseason. Before you go with this, I will also add, at the time when we made these resolutions, we did not know the format. We thought that there would be at least the top 2, maybe the top 4. In the end, there was only one playoff spot, and there was no playoff. Like, it was just you went to the winner went on.
And we were in a combined kind of 2 divisions combined into 1 division for 2023,
which meant more quality in the league.
And there was much more quality. I think I would have in that scenario.
You don't get to change. You don't get to change.
In that scenario, it would have been
He's gonna do it
hosting
anyway.
hosting a playoff match would have been like essentially top 4.
Yeah.
I would have assumed
Should have
that
been.
I assumed that 2 teams from every division to combine them would have hosted a playoff match, and
Of course, the WPSL and their bullshit just did the top team goes on and fuck everything else.
yeah, and then for some reason Charlotte, the number 2 team, got to also go on because an entire division backed out of the regional playoffs.
So we had 2 playoff teams.
And by the way, that Charlotte Eagles team ended up winning the WPSL.
Nice.
So,
I hadn't heard somebody say the Charlotte Eagles in forever.
I know, isn't that wild?
but even so even accounting for that to make sure that like the review is fair. No, it's a fucking failure. Like we were, what were we, 7th or 6th? We were 6th.
What made me laugh is like Breezy's like marking like done, done. If it happened at the end of this one, it
Sad
says
emoji.
It was.
Yeah, it wasn't good enough. We did not meet the target.
Matthew, your resolutions off the field, your short-term goal was to figure out a league situation for the men's team.
I think we accomplished that.
Hey, buddy.
Boom!
And thank God. There it is.
Honestly, that particular resolution will do more for the state of the club than literally. Well, we'll get to some of the other long-term ones that I think will matter a lot. But like almost nothing could happen meaningful.
More meaningful.
And certainly not last year than getting that one done.
Getting the men's pro
getting
team
getting it right.
Yes.
By the way. Because we could have just decided to stay in NISA for better or for worse, and I think that would have been the wrong decision. So like
worse.
we also had to get
Way
it,
worse.
We also had to
Way
get it
worse.
right, and I think with MLS Next Pro we've done that.
Medium-term goal, and in parentheses it says hard to measure, housing and stadium.
Yeah, I think hard to measure because
Until they break ground, you don't know if it's moving forward for sure.
right, things can be happening behind the scenes that we just don't know about.
Right.
And oftentimes things have to happen to a certain step behind the scenes before they're even ready for the public eye.
Same with league stuff.
Yeah, that too. So
Just thank
like,
God it all happened.
I want to see, and I'm going to re-up the medium-term goal and keep it in the medium term, that I still think we need some sort of housing solution. And there's still going to be some need for a stadium solution. Simply because and I think the upgrades going into Findlay are very, very good. UTC has not raised as much hell since Brian Wright took over. about
Shout out Brian
being
Ratliff.
Hell yeah.
unhappy with Finley Stadium.
Yeah.
Trying to put the feelers out there if any donors want to drop $10 million on a stadium, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I still think like the way this works is you control your own revenue and you control everything about your own stadium. And it's why, the Jacksonville Armada and the Cleveland announcements in Next Pro and what was the last one? Connecticut. Like they're all
announcing
coming with
stadiums.
stadiums.
Yep.
Carolina Core like redid a baseball stadium to turn it into, and I think a baseball team still plays there, but like I think they control that stadium in High Point.
Nice.
So another one, and you don't have to justify these because you can come back to them later, but long-term training facility with offices, turf, and grass fields.
Yeah, I want it.
And long-term indoor facility.
I definitely want it.
I mentioned that, I think in the last one.
It would be, that would be sweet. So
Or,
that was,
or maybe it was a news pod when we talked about Montague.
Yeah.
We were talking about indoor.
But so like I just want to re-up those, and I will re-up those.
and I'll go over mine real quick from last year. So mine were top 2 in NISA, whether via playoffs or regular season. We fucking did that. Didn't get the play. We got playoffed, but it is what it is. I had a specific 40 goals scored minimum and 15 goals or less conceded, and bro, we hit it.
I want to point out in all competitions we gave up 16 goals. So
I'm just counting in the league, or in games that matter. Games that matter, 16.
Yeah, because it includes the Independent Cup.
Well, I don't know if the Independent Cup matters. And as someone who's not in NISA anymore, I'm not counting it just for my own goal because the Independent Cup doesn't matter.
But like I think the spirit of your goal, like yeah, we nailed it.
Yeah, I'll take 40 and 16. Also, we were at like 49 and 16 or whatever. 52
I did.
and 16.
I will say I loved.
49.
I loved when we would
47.
win. I loved when we would win the Independent Cup, and like the players would celebrate, like but it was like really half-assed, like
Yeah.
okay, let's go.
I think they were more celebrating probably a small bonus that they got. So like,
Yeah, hopefully, I hope they did. And then for the women's on the field, I said I wanted to win our conference/division, whether by playoffs or regular season champs. And you can see my
Boo.
just staying away from that one. That one sucks. We didn't get there. We're gonna try again next year. I said in the stands, I want to average 3K. I still haven't seen what we averaged. I think it was 29 and change. Is what I heard. I haven't actually seen any final figures, so it doesn't matter. We were close. So I'm not counting it as a win, but I'm very happy with the progress that overall on the season, we were close to 3K average a game, or closer than, yeah. I wanted 1,500 plus on the CFC women's attendance. We were not anywhere close to that. There were some unfortunate doubleheaders. There was some bad weather, but also we just weren't close to that. And
two doubleheaders, a bad weather game, and I think the only other one was a standalone Friday. And it was, I don't know. I actually don't remember what the tickets out was for that.
So look, I want some things.
It was not 1,500. I'll tell you that.
I want some things to get better on that front and make it a little easier for people to come. But also, I don't care. Like we need to be getting more people there. People need to be there, and that's not 100% on the club. It's partially on the club. It's not 100% on us. It's partially on us, but it's also just on the community. Like the women rule, and their games are fun, and you should be there.
They're representing the club, and they deserve
100%.
it. Yeah, 100%.
Off the field, I had hire a VP, which we have done quietly. Haven't announced it, but we have promoted from within. We have a true VP, so we've hired a new CEO, which that was not on my list. We have Alton.
This came out literally like
2 weeks before, 3 weeks before.
yeah.
No, about a week before, maybe two. I don't remember when it was announced. It was announced in January sometime, and this came out December 31st. We released it December 31st. So I wasn't expecting, I'm going to leave the Alton part out of it just because I wasn't expecting to replace the CEO, right? But I wanted a VP. I wanted the second in command. If something happened to the CEO, and we have that. Women's assistant coach, we also have that. And I wanted around a $250,000 loss. I haven't seen any numbers from last year, but I do know that, well, we left a league that in theory probably had an exit payment, and we're going into a new league, which I'm sure had an entrance payment. So I'm quite certain we weren't anywhere near a $250,000 loss.
We also
Thank you, ownership. I'm just going to leave that one alone.
We also probably hired a dozen people between July 1, and might be more than a dozen, honestly, between July 1 and December 31.
Yep.
It actually might have been close to 20 new people in the front office.
Yeah, and I feel like you're going to talk about that in a minute, aren't you?
Probably.
Part of yours.
Probably.
So I'm going to go to 2024 because we've kind of gone through our stuff from last year. If anybody was wondering how we felt about each individual season or anything like that, you can always go back and look at our reviews for the men's and women's season. We did an in-depth analytical review of each one, plus an emotional review of the men's season. I don't know if we did an emotional one of the women's season because we didn't lose heartbreakingly in the playoffs and have to record 16 hours later for our own sanity this time. So Jay, take us through some of your podcast, if you have any. resolutions.
Okay.
See, we're being nice to Ellie. That's
I'm
just
letting
a
Jay go
Breezy being a
first.
nice to Ellie
I'm
decision.
I like
Thank
Ellie.
you.
I know we're taking turns, I guess, without
Throw
talking
her-
about it.
Throw her into the cauldron.
I was mean to her last time. You're being mean to her this time. Like,
Do you want me to? You want me to just do our podcast one first? Okay,
Please.
So I've got 3. So number 1 is more camera angles.
hell yeah.
I just want us to diversify what people see on YouTube because it's more attractive and it keeps people's attention span more. Second is more and better clips, and you and I need to come together and standardize what that editing timeline looks like. So it's drag and drop, export, post. It's not
Yes.
confusing. It's easy to do. And then I don't know why I'm like out of breath right now. It's because I'm hungover.
I do know why you're out of breath.
Please, somebody, please clip that for our first 2024 use.
My third one is a YouTube push. I want to push some of our listeners over to subscribing and watching on YouTube, because there are going to be things as we move on into the future to be able to show clips. We're going to add technology. Breezy and I have been talking about being able to do game reviews with footage. And I think you're going to have a much better experience being able to watch. Even if you still just want to listen, like me, I do my podcast on YouTube because I'll drive with it on and I'll listen and they'll be like, haha, look at that. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, cool. I see what they're talking about. Now I'm on. I feel like people will want to have that experience in the future. So having a push and creating our intro, like, hey, we're from Studio Breezy. Remember to like, subscribe. Remember we're on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. So sort of like kind of like put this like formula together for us
Hell yeah.
to be able to have an intro and different pieces with throughout the stuff. I build this stuff for people all the time. So I just need to do it for us. So.
Does that include like adding TikTok content, which I know we have a little bit of?
Well, I think so. If we're going to make clips, it's Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter. It's Instagram, X, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts.
Yeah, but we should like be authentic about it and post to YouTube and TikTok at the same time, and then a month later post to Instagram, so that everyone's timelines still feel normal.
Yeah, I'm down.
Fuck you, Matthew.
Matt, there are. I know you're making a joke about Breezy, but there are real strategies like that. There are real strategies. People will make a batch of clips, and then they will batch select. One goes here, one goes here. Then the next day, this one goes there, that one goes there. Like to refresh it. So the people who are addicted to only one app, which I'm jealous of you if that's a thing, they all kind of have their own sort of like schedule.
I'm just now learning that like that's not just like an organic thing that happened on the internet, but like
It's
people
also-
are actually like planning that out.
It's
Oh,
both
yeah.
because people repurpose TikToks then onto Instagram as well.
Yes.
That is why the joke comes from. But then smarter people got a hold, like Jay saying, I'm like,
Well,
whatever.
the crazy part is like even my friends are like, you guys need more clips, and I'm like, yeah, damn. Do you know how to edit, and do you want to do it?
Do you
Because, like,
want to do this work,
Because I
please?
also have a job. We all do, and like we have to be able to work. It's like that shit is hard. Like people think YouTube is like start making some videos and start making some clips. Hell, fucking no. It's a full-time job.
By the way, the clips are way harder than like just the podcast. I spent about 4, and I'll get faster at some point. But
You're getting better.
I made 2 clips, and it took me about 4 hours of like pretty solid work.
But if we do my original, my number one, and we like kind of build out,
And I'll get better at it.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, anyone who thinks like it's 5 minutes and throw one up, like it's not. And I'm not. This isn't me like, oh, boo hoo. Just like it's harder than it seems.
Yeah.
I can edit the podcast and get it edited and up in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes at most. A clip is way longer.
Hey,
So I'm
and-
going to figure it out.
And
But
if you're watching this, for people who are listening, we also are on YouTube. See,
hey,
This is the part.
nice job, Jay.
And you're like, holy shit, haha, that's funny. That should be a clip. Send that to us,
Please.
I would.
If
would
you
love
get- if
that.
you
That
send-
would make my life easier.
I tell you what, if you send me a clip that and it's a good idea, like clip that X, Y, or Z,
we
I
will
will clip
do it.
If it's a good idea, I will do it. I will put in the extra work.
Yeah.
But I need some help with the ideas.
Well, there's my 3-pod podcast.
I
we,
love it.
As we go into TikTok, anyone down for learning some TikTok dances?
I'm out. I'll see you later.
And that's the end of the podcast. Well,
Ellie was never saw again.
no worse. The 3 of us quit and just left it to Ellie. It's all hers.
I said saw instead of seen. So.
the Section 1 podcast.
Oh man.
Oh, Ellie, no TikTok dance. Although if you want to teach them on the capo stand, we will laugh at you. and ridicule you on the next podcast about it.
Yeah,
I don't know. You probably didn't see, except only psychos go back and rewatch the podcasts. But I went back and I did a on the clip. I don't know if have you seen the clip that I did from last podcast? It's okay if you haven't. So there's a part where I zoomed in on you and I was like, "Hey, there's Ellie." Anyway, it's a funny moment. All right, Ellie, do you have any podcast goals for the year?
I do. One, just to be on more and to like, I learn a lot when I come on here. I like keep up with CFC stuff as much as I can at home and keep trying to like, but like I'm at school all day. And so some stuff comes out while I'm at school and I forget about it by the time I get home. Like it's already past and gone and I haven't written it down or something like that. So just being on, like I learn a lot and it's so helpful.
Beautiful.
And to help with stats.
That's awesome, by the way. I love that.
Help with stats. I'm a psycho who loves to sit there with my iPad. I have like stat sheets that I used to do for watching the US men. Like I used to straight up set aside a Saturday and I would just flick through all the US games that were happening across the world that some US player was playing in and copy stats. And I haven't done that because it can be kind of tedious when you're doing it for like 7 different teams and you're watching, the third tier Belgian league to watch a defender who may or may not actually play. And you're sitting there going, this is really boring.
It is.
I really hate this, but I really like copying stats. And so going back through the games and like having stats ready to come and talk about here.
Nice.
The third tier Belgium, would that be the Jupiler Semi-Pro League?
Matthew.
I don't know if we've ever had. I just threw out a league. I don't know if we've actually had anyone in the third tier Belgian league. I know we've had people in second tier.
Holland.
Yeah, Danish league.
Or the Danish league. Yeah.
Yeah. We've had all over, and those are hard to get a hold of. But
so you want to do some more stats stuff?
You're gonna love the MLS Next Pro website for stats.
I can't wait.
I will agree with being on the pod more. It's been awesome getting to, because I didn't know you at all before we started doing this. Because like I always say, I don't come down there. So being able to hang out and get to know you has been awesome. And fresh perspective is always
100%
great. So. And I'm sure you'll bring some heat when we do some interviews too. That's what I'm excited.
I can't wait for Ellie's first interview.
That's really our bread and butter. We have really grown and changed a lot, but those are the most fun. You get to talk shit and talk about people being psychopaths.
Yeah, it's
all
fun.
Kinds of stuff. So.
It's fun. I mean, she's already like given.
She just pointed at herself after.
She also gave a couple ideas for questions over the past little while.
Hell yeah.
Which has been fun. Ellie's at your 2?
My third is I really want to help with building out, like, I love an interview where you can get to like a person and like get to like the humanity. Like, yes. I like stats and I think that's fun, but when a person comes and is sitting in the same room as you, like, I want to know what your favorite pair of shoes you wear is. I want to know, like, what do you like to do when it's raining outside? Like
at that pair of shoes question.
Right? Like, such a good question. It's so random, but like.
Wait, what was the?
No,
like,
you said that the last time we were all hanging out here.
What's
I feel like, and I was
shoes?
like, yeah, that's fire.
Like, this is my absolute. I just got these new pair of shoes and I love them, and I've been wearing them everywhere because they're white pair of shoes and you can wear them everywhere. And I'm like, oh my gosh! And I want to talk about that. And I know everyone has like those little things they want to talk about, and so finding those little things that each of the players wants to come in and be like, oh my gosh! But let me tell you about like my. Like movie watching experience, and like I really love movies and I want to share my favorite movie with you, and so like kind of figuring out what like they're interested in to try and like let them kind of show their personalities even more.
Wait till I share the existing template with you so you can enjoy.
All right,
you'll enjoy it.
All right, Matt, let's hear yours.
Podcast resolutions. He doesn't even remember his. What a bad guy.
I mean, I'm sitting here reading mine, so
I am too. But he let his computer die. So
I had mentioned it a little bit earlier, but I want us to get back to doing more interviews.
Yes.
Without losing some of the game review stuff that we're doing, and to that end, I want us to broaden our guest host horizons. I think the only way that we will be able to do even more episodes and more interviews and things like that in 2024 is if we have just a little bit bigger group of people that can do things. So try to get Smitty back for some interviews every now and then. Bring back Amanda Moore because she was a great guest host.
100%.
for a couple of those women's team podcasts. We've added Ellie to join us when she can, when she's not in school, and I think that those are all things that will help us broaden the podcast's horizons.
Shout out! I want to do another podcast with Jim Hicks.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I haven't
absolutely.
seen him in a
Yeah,
while, but definitely want to have him on.
Honestly,
no matter
we need to
what,
get
like
him
multiple
on
times
later this month.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, we're entering this.
And he's listening to this, so
he
or watching if he's on YouTube, because we're also on YouTube and you can watch it.
Hell yeah! I think this should be the theme. By the way, you should all
Wait,
the time.
I
where
won't
else are
stop.
we on? Wait.
So we're also on YouTube, Ellie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, not only your RSS feed, we're on YouTube.
Do also doesn't I think X now has like unlimited video length, so we could just like post the entire
Yeah, there's people that do
episodes.
that. Yeah.
Not that I really want to.
It doesn't have great retention because people are scrolling,
Yeah,
but
that makes sense.
Yeah. My third one
Yep.
is something I don't know if I've talked about it on the podcast before, but
You and I have talked about it a bunch.
I've definitely talked about it before.
Jay, we've definitely talked about this.
I want to, and maybe it doesn't work out this year, but I'd like to at some point host a live show, a live podcast that doesn't necessarily have to be recorded, but do a live show with a live audience.
It'll be recorded
in collaboration with CFC.
Yeah.
Okay, how sick would it be if we did it in the middle of a game on the field, like brought out couches and just set up center field?
Gonna tell you right now, I will be too drunk to do that.
You have a job to do, dude.
No,
Yeah,
that
I
is a
can't
sick
drink at
idea.
the games.
Oh,
I've
that's
never
true.
once had. I think I've had like a beer at most at a game, and most of the time I don't finish that because I'm scared I'm gonna fall off that sand.
Yeah, don't do that.
No, I
So,
definitely
like-
think that would be like if we could somehow, like tie that in with an announcement or something. Yeah, we've had conversations about that with people. Now those people aren't technically there anymore.
Yeah.
But we've had that conversation with
Matt
front
and I have
office in
had
the
Matt
past.
and I have had preliminary, very, very preliminary conversations with the club about what that could look like. Just like, hey, would you guys be open to talk about this? And they're like, hey, we're a little skeptical, but also like we're open to talking about it. Like
Jay won't say the F word every other second.
I might. No one tells me what to say on my goddamn podcast.
That's Rod Dam.
No, yes, it is.
Rod damn podcast.
So yeah, no, I love that one, Matthew. So we're gonna have we might have the most diverse. I didn't read these before. I put in mine like first in the doc. We might have the most diverse podcast resolutions of any of our resolutions.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's like an awards thing. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's some sort of like, I'm going to use jersey reveal as an example for, something that would be a reason for people to be there.
Yeah, sure.
Because they're not going to be there for fucking us. Tell you that.
No doubt.
Maybe it's just like a mid-season interview with Alton and some other people. I don't know.
We would be perfect to host like a state of the club interview
Yes.
type thing.
Yeah.
Something like that,
100%.
Absolutely.
Or
if they've got some news that they want to dish out and be able to create some kind of media and help us be the medium between the fans and the
also,
club
if the MLS Next Pro announcement that they did, if we had been a little bit like more outside of that and not just experiencing it ourselves, and I wouldn't want to change anything, but we could have been in one of those rooms recording, and we could have recorded with Alton and with like players that came up what they were thought like,
yeah.
and I wouldn't have wanted to change that, but for something like that, an event like that, we could potentially do that as
totally.
well. Cool,
Great
beautiful,
ideas.
and mine are. Very different. During 2024, I want to get a dedicated pod camera. So right now we use my cell phone, and it's adequate, and it's been a good first step, but it is time, and I'm not putting a time limit on it. I don't know if it's going to be early or late, but in 2024, I want to get one dedicated podcast camera, a real camera, not just a cell phone. I would like to do 60 episodes. I did some math kind of on what we did last year. If anybody was wondering, we did 55 episodes, 9 interviews, 32 game recaps, and 14 others. I just wanted to figure out what we did. I did not break it down. I have some ideas on how these might go, but I want to do 60 total episodes, and I want 60 total episodes, 15 CFC men's players I want to interview, no matter how that looks like. We can figure that out. And I want to interview 10 women's players. And the 10 women's players, by the way, is going to be way harder because there's such a short, compressed period of time.
Yeah, I think it'll be like men's are like kind of stretched out through the year, and then women's, it's like, no, we got a window.
We
gotta
have this
execute.
window.
So we
Yeah.
did our 3 interviews in like a 1 week span, including I think 2 in one day, didn't we? Or maybe back-to-back
it was like
days.
back-to-back days or
My
something.
point being, it's like it's difficult, but we need to figure it out, and I'm committed to figuring it out. And then I want to hit 100 YouTube subs.
What are we at now?
54.
Okay, yeah.
I want to hit 100. We were at like 50 roughly at New Year's, 51.
Yeah.
I want to hit 100. And I would I can't pick where they're from. Some will be converted, hopefully, folks that are listening on the podcast. But we have plenty of listeners. Our biggest platforms are audio by far. So I would like to get 100 people watching or subscribed to watching. And I would love for some of those to be new. It's the reason I started the TikTok after talking to you, Jay. And I don't plan on being on the TikTok. I haven't even watched one video on that account, but I have posted, and I'm going to have to post clips to it because, like, as you pointed out, Jay, when we were on the phone, like, where are new viewers going to come from?
Yeah.
Some of them might come from X. Some of them might come from Instagram. And some of them might come directly from YouTube. But TikTok is where the peoples are and where the youngs are especially. So
The peoples, the youngs.
I'm
Or
not
the
on the
youths.
TikToks. I'm
dude,
sorry.
good for you. I'm proud of you.
I really am. I can't do it. I
Wait,
can't
so
do it.
you don't do TikTok dances? You do?
I don't. I don't do any
Instagram
dances.
A month later dances.
I can't dance.
A month.
Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was on the dance team for half a year, and I was so bad. I was put in the back. I was always off beat. Like,
Scoot a little bit to the left. No, a little bit more.
Literally.
Okay.
Out
You're
of
good.
frame. We're good.
literally, I was so bad. So what I do on the stand is not. That's like me dancing. Like, if I had to do a choreographed
That's
dance,
hype
it would be
dancing.
bad. It would be so bad. If y'all were like, Ellie, do a TikTok dance on anywhere, I would be like,
Can you floss?
is that the one where you do the like?
I can floss.
Yeah, that
that's
one.
flossing.
Yeah, that one. See, you could do a TikTok. You're literally doing a TikTok dance right now.
That's yeah. You know, there it is.
Nailed it.
Man, that's going to be embarrassing on Instagram later.
Hell yeah.
It's fine.
So Jay, let's go straight into your for the club.
Okay.
And this format is however the goal setter wanted them to be.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so I have 3 here. So I want to jump in deep when we get into the MLS Next Pro. So I want to win a home playoff game. I really say that because I personally haven't seen that since the NPSL. I haven't been able to be there for one. I don't think a lot of people have been able to be there for one.
Yeah, none of us have. To be clear.
Yes. Okay. So I didn't want to just like kick that can and continue that, but I want to win a home playoff game going into this season. For the women's, I want us to finish top 2. I think we're building on a great foundation, and I think with a little bit more support from the fans and we really build up the hype around that team, I think we can achieve that. And then my third is I want to continue the dominant keeper play. We from Grega to Phil to some in betweens here. Now we have Jean Antoine. I really love having a solid big goalkeeper back there now, and I really want to continue to have that absolute dominance. And I want CFC to be a Golden Glove, and the CFC goalkeeper to win the Golden Glove in whatever league that we're in.
Hell yeah. I love that goal.
And defense helps, and like we talked about earlier with the roster bolstering, we're definitely doing that. So I think that's a really good situation for us to be in for keepers. So there's my 3 for the team. There's 100 more, but I'm just gonna narrow this one.
Cool. Do you want me to
Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, I was gonna say, why don't you go through all of yours?
Okay. So in stadium I call this the stadium and stands. I kind of like looked at what you guys were doing and kind of like copied my format. So I want to paint over the lines. Good news. I read something the other day that says that we're going to because
Hell
we're upgrading
yeah.
our equipment, which is a little bit of news pod in the middle of this.
Love it.
I'm going to go back on something, and I think we should still do a food truck night because I think that would be awesome. I've said this before.
Sounds
My
great. I won't eat for 2 days before. Let's do it.
My third is really like I really feel this way. Me and my wife both. There needs to be a pups at the pitch night. And now that Homeboy's gone, Finley guy, I don't want to say his name again because we've already said it once and I don't want to give him any credibility for anything. I think being able to bring my dogs to the stadium, or anybody bring their dogs to the stadium, it would be so much fun. And then my fourth one, which I know it's kind of past that, on-field personality. So I did a crossbar challenge last year after I did like the crossbar challenge video, and there was a new guy with a microphone on the field, and it was sort of like the hype man that kind of like brings the crowd into halftime, and it's like, here's the show. I'm going to kind of run what's happening right now. You'll get some information, and but I think what I want to do is I want to have that holy shit, this is such a long list. I got lost. I want to have that on-field personality, but I want to help them. So, like, I don't know if they've done this more, but we got to get the microphone situation figured out. It is the most cringy thing ever when the microphone fucking shorts out in the middle of either the national anthem or somebody talking about a sponsor or anything from the field. So we got to have that experience dialed in, because that's what a lot of families really love to have, is that attention grabbing. Even when the game's not going on, it's a fun event that maybe their kid can go on the field and take part in, but you got to have that one guy with the microphone that's driving it. It can't just be like something that's happening on the field.
Taking a page from the Lookouts.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, or really, all teams.
Yeah, I just remember the local guy in the red jacket that was always there.
Yep, totally. I can't remember his name. He used to come to the CFC office when I worked for them all the time. Would always talk to Reed about stuff. Anyways, so my off-field stuff is for the club again, midweek coaches interview type show. Maybe an interview with Rod where it's a short 10 to 15 minute. All the sports teams that I watch have it, where the coach comes on and he talks about the week before or what's happening leading up to the game that they're going into maybe the next day or whatever. By the way, I would help with that. 2, I really want the club. This is kind of like going on with you and the social media posts. I want the club to do some merch giveaways to boost engagement. So maybe like a scavenger hunt, like hiding a scarf downtown and getting people to search for it based on clues, or giving away merch to boost engagement would be really cool. 3 is more YouTube content in general. It just gives us a chance to pump other socials. They're doing a good job of this. I'm just kind of doubling down on that. But, more interviews, and maybe like a FIFA tournament with like the team or something that could go out and you could learn more about the players and kind of get to know their personalities. Number 4 is a personal one. I want you guys to sell Red Bull in the stadium.
Yes, please. I love that idea.
Because I can't bring it in and I'm addicted. But I will say,
I'm addicted and I just can't get enough.
Basically,
that's Jay.
Especially
To
when
Red
I'm
Bull.
hungover. But the
I should have brought you a Red Bull. I've got one in the fridge.
I crushed one on the way here.
Atta baby.
And then number 5 is a very personal one, and I didn't even write this down. But there's this guy, and he's a guitar player in Nashville. His name's Pat Buchanan.
Hell yeah.
He wants to do a freaking sick slide national anthem for either a big game or whatever. But he's dying to come down here and do one. And he sends me videos of him do. That's my dad, by the way. I don't know if I
people have put it together. Yeah.
He's
sick head of lettuce.
He's got a good head of lettuce. He loves playing the national anthem on a slide guitar, and it's one of the coolest versions I've ever heard. Like, if you want to, guys should go look up Derek Trucks doing it at a Jaguars playoff game and expect something similar to that. So,
Hell
there
yeah.
you are. There's my resolutions.
I love it. Matthew, you ready to blow through yours in the same amount of time? Or sorry, Ellie's turn, and then Matthew's gonna. What I want is Matthew to do it as short as you did it.
I think mine are going to be pretty short. I don't know.
I believe in your ability for brevity. I have no faith in this guy.
I'm gonna just go for 2 here for just the club, and it's just, I want to see the men's team. I don't even care about winning this year. I just want to see them hold their own and stay among like the top of MLS Next Pro. Like, I don't know where we're gonna land in this new league. I don't know what we're looking at. I just want us to stay up top and like.
What do you mean up top?
Like up at the top of the table. Like, I want to stay on. I want to win a ton of games. I don't know how to say.
If there's 30 clubs, dividing into 2 because they're going to be in conferences. And I'm just asking so we can measure it because
There's going to be 15 in our
15 in our conference. Like, are you saying top
Great
5?
math.
Top 5, yeah. Like, I just want us to
Top
maintain,
third.
top third
okay.
of our conference, like all season. I don't care about. I just want to see us. I don't want to see us go into a new league and just immediately get stepped on.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
people have questions about like, well, this new club that just came in. Like, I want to see us come in and like.
I think that's fairly similar to I think most of us are saying like home playoff game, and I
Yeah.
think that fits the.
Well, he
I
said
think-
playoff win.
Yeah, he's at playoff win.
I want one.
You're adorable.
I want one, bro.
I love it.
I'm sick. Okay,
Yeah.
I won't even go into it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're on the same track. As,
Yeah.
Yep.
as-
Hell yeah.
And I mean,
Look
same
at that.
thing.
She's trying to keep it brief, and we're like, let's talk more.
Yeah.
Continue, so.
God, we could learn so much from Ellie. The youths of today.
For women's team, I think pretty much same thing. Just I want to see us be successful and stay on top and win. And like I feel like going to the games, like I want to feel more energy and more hype, and I feel like we get that with winning and with getting bigger crowds and getting more engagement. And as much engagement with the women's team as humanly possible.
What does that look like in terms of results? And the reason I'm pushing you on that is because we're at the end of the year. We're going to go back and look like, did we do it? So like, if you can quantify it however you want, but
higher attendance and again, I think top third in the league. I think would be the two things I would put together. And I think more social media engagement as well. For women's. I know we've already gained some stuff. I'd like to see even more. You can't have enough. I don't think personally.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to see that from the club, for just play and everything like that. Personally, I'd like to watch more matches, in the stands.
it's overrated.
Have you met this club before? Are you sure?
No, I want to be able to. Here's
Too soon, Matthew. This is the off season. We're optimistic in the off season, Matthew.
My bad.
Jay's hungover and you're ruining his day.
I want a playoff win. Damn it.
Here's my quantifiable for that. I want to be able to go to the bar after the game and not have to get a fat mob idea of what happened in the game before I talk to people about what happened in the game. That is that drives me just like a tiny bit crazy. I want to have more games where I sit in the stands and go, yes, that was
Ellie.
awesome.
Rotation of capos.
I'll
Pretty
say
much, yeah.
diversification of capos.
Get Ellie at least
rotation.
one game off this season. Got it.
Well, I mean, I think more just
Denied.
a capo schedule. We have new people who want to come in at least from last season we did. I haven't re-engaged to see if they would like to again, but I would like to, if they're still interested, get a schedule together so that everyone can have the chance to watch a game and enjoy it, because that's what we're there for.
Love it.
That's why we support this club, because
Yeah,
we like the club and
totally.
we want to watch the games, and I want to make sure. And everyone, like, I enjoy leading the section. I enjoy like cheering and showing my support and doing what I can to make sure that everyone is engaged and everyone feels like they're like the experience is, the greatest possible. But I would like to have other people like have the opportunity to take that role and also step back from that role and watch the game and remember why we love supporting the club. Like that, it's so important to have the moments to sit back and go, this is why I do this. Like, I don't do this for XYZ. I do this because those people down there work their tail ends off day in and day out, and I love it. And this club does all this amazing stuff, and I support that.
Breezy, hit the clapping button. I just felt like that deserved it.
Absolutely. I'm over here all motivated taking notes.
Sorry, I didn't put my notes in. I feel so bad.
That's okay. I wrote mine on the way over here.
I ran.
We
from
also
the first
didn't.
game.
Also, I didn't realize you, because we were originally scheduled peek behind the curtain for last week, and then you got sick and yada yada yada. So
Yep.
originally you weren't going to be able to be here, so I didn't add you to the doc. That's my fault. I didn't even think about it. Like, and then of course you were like, "Hey, is there a doc?" And I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, there definitely is a doc." So
Yeah, she
my
asked,
bad.
She asked that 5 minutes before we started.
Maybe
Yeah.
less.
Actually, yeah, the record button might have been on.
So yeah. Anyway, that's to say, like, that's not Ellie's fault. Ellie's not unprepared. Ellie's plenty prepared. We didn't get you involved to do the thing, so our bad.
I'm a
I'm just
teacher.
excited you're here.
I'm a teacher. I can do everything on the fly. I've gotten really good at it. You learn it really quick. I think in stadium, I want to see more young people at the games. And I want to see, not necessarily like college, I just want to see more 23-year-olds. Like, I love the Chattahooligans, but the Chattahooligans are aging out.
Absolutely.
We're
And
getting old.
You're all getting old, and I hate saying that because I feel a little mean saying that, but it would be great to see more 23-year-olds at the game.
Absolutely.
And see them finding the club and seeing how special it is, and then like wanting to get involved and like I
Could
Yeah.
not agree more.
Ellie wants a $1 beer night.
Let's go.
okay, but
I
like
just wrote down
low-key,
more youths.
Youths.
I didn't write youths, but more youths.
Dude, that's Schmidt from New Girl. He always calls it youths. These street youths is one of my favorite things. But yeah, I think that maybe not a $1 beer night, but something to attract the young crowds. What you're saying, try to drive that a little bit. Yeah.
I don't even know what
It
it
can
would look
happen.
like, but yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we already have like UTC engagement night, and like that's great, but like I'd almost like a networking event with like 20-year-olds all invited to the game where you can like meet other 20-year-olds. Like, I keep laughing with people. I'm 23. and I keep trying to make more friends in Chattanooga. And everyone I talk to is like, man, I'm 23 and I can't make friends in Chattanooga. I'm like, okay, there are tons of us here. And none of us can find each other, apparently. We all just live under rocks, and it's just ridiculously hard to figure this out. And, like, I think CFC could do wonders to take that barrier away and be like, look, we would like to see the youth come and hang out.
CFC Tender Night.
Dude. It's like you just read my mind. Word for word. I was getting ready to say that.
Sponsored by, it's going to be CFC.
Shiver me tenders.
Okay, now I like
Now
you
you
a lot.
ruined it.
Now I like you a lot less.
Now
yeah.
you ruined it. Now you ruined it. On that note, I am going to make a trip to the little boys' room. You guys can continue
We talked about that.
with this, and Ellie, you can keep giving goals, or you can pass whenever you pass
we're
to
not
Matthew.
cutting. This is
Right.
what's really buzzing in the community?
What?
Bumble.
CFC and Bumble.
Oh my god. But I do like that idea. You're right. The club's been around. It has such a diehard fan base that has stuck around year after year.
So can
And
we-
It's like re-upping that.
Can we go
some
on a
way.
slight tangent here
Sure.
while Breezy is taking a break? I think one of the things I'm interested about, and this is not necessarily resolution, but I'm piggybacking off of more 23-year-olds. I think when you look at the people that the club has hired in the front office,
Yes.
Yep.
and I mean, like, seriously, it's like 20 people.
Yep.
Now, some people like Smo and Mary are coming on full time when they've been working for the club and just kind of categorized
way.
differently
Yeah.
beforehand. But a lot of people coming in, whether they're doing content, whether they're doing community relations, whether they're doing ticket sales or partnerships, a lot of them are relatively young, just after college.
Yep.
Like moving here for a job to work in sports. And I think with that will come
Better strategies, different kinds of strategies.
you don't want me trying to connect to the youths.
No, we want you connecting with the 60-year-olds.
Right.
Yes.
That's really my bread and
I
butter.
think
You
that's
would
too young
dominate,
still.
dude.
I mean, 90-year-olds.
Yeah,
So,
that may be
but
true.
like so some of these, new folks in the front office, like that are going to be in charge of like devising content, that are going to be in charge of like finding cool ways to do flex packages and season ticket packages and whatever, like finding cool things in the community for leveraging partnerships and what have you. Like those are massive opportunities for
That's a great point, man.
Yeah.
for the club to be able to act on some of these things that I think would already want to do.
Yeah.
Before even listening to this, like that's natural stuff.
You know what's funny too?
And whether these people are coming once in a year or 4 times in a year or
Yeah.
16 times, like
That's
it's still like
it's positive.
a person coming to one game a year for whatever reason is still important.
Yeah. All the things I said about the YouTube content and all that stuff, pair that with what you just said, and I have nothing but confidence that all that is going to be either done to the level that I think it should be or better.
Yeah.
Because of the new, I will call it a regime that's in, and the new strategies and different things.
And the amount of humans, it's not just, it's all.
The amount of humans at an age average
Yes.
that works better towards targeting young people.
It's just amazing. I could never have envisioned the changes that happened in the last year.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
like,
it's a GTA game outside right now. This is crazy.
welcome to Ridgedale.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. You're right.
Hired a CEO,
unbelievable.
promoted to have an SVP, new women's head coach, full-time assistant on that side. There's
Full-time-ish.
we added another assistant on the men's side. It's just
There's about 900 new people in the front office.
it's just the and I don't say this lightly, the amount of investment that has taken place in the last year, and whether that's like a upfront one-time investment or if it's like a however they do the accounting bullshit over the next couple of years or whatever, the investment that's taken place to allow us to hire people, allow us to move into Next Pro, allow us to like really start to work on things for the future cannot be understated, and it's it's not just a big reason of why we are where we are right now. It is the reason why we are where we are. So it's on those people that are hired. It's on, the rest of us that make our lives around this thing to really like drill down these next few years, because that will determine if this investment like really pays off or not. And then, so we don't have to, you notice we're not saying here, oh, like we need to kind of close the gap to 250. Like we hired a lot of people, man. Like
But that goal is going to come back.
yeah, the goal,
it will.
returning to sustainability.
Business doesn't start in the black immediately.
Right.
I mean, I'm currently operating in the red. So. But yeah, totally. I get that.
So anyway, any more?
I think my last goal, building off of like pups at the park, which would be awesome. And I'm absolutely down for. And I want my dog up on the capo stand. With me. That sounds fantastic.
Yes.
But a school engagement night. I want to see more school engagement. The club going out into schools.
What
more.
about a school engagement day?
I was thinking like a game where you like go to like as many schools as you can and try and offer out to schools and bring them in.
I would love to see a not for nothing a preseason game that takes place like during the school day and is like a big Hamilton County field trip.
That'd be fantastic.
There are a lot of kids that like should be able to go to a game like for free, just like they would go to a ballet or whatever, like just another like cultural arts
Or an OGA tournament.
Yeah.
Sure, like
Yeah,
another
we bust
cultural
kids
arts
in there.
event.
Yeah. Totally.
And think about like how many kids in this community, especially whether you're an elementary school kid in Saudi Daisy that's never seen soccer in their life, or from stretch that to you're a kid growing up in one of the more like predominantly Hispanic neighborhoods that like soccer's in your blood maybe,
Yeah.
but like maybe not CFC is in your blood. The opportunity to experience something in your own community, to be exposed to new things or to experience something for the first time in a new context, is massive. And I'd love to see if we could be able. I don't necessarily want to do a regular season game, because there's so many other things involved in terms of the economics. But like a preseason game makes a ton of sense.
Yeah,
Or
awesome.
like add a friendly and like if it's in the fall portion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or and let's move to yours after this. What I'm gonna say could totally derail us, but if we could do 100 Hamilton County students versus 3 CFC players, that would be a lot of fun.
I would love that. That'd be fantastic.
Dude,
All
that'd
right.
be a lot of fun.
Okay.
Oh my
Yep,
God, I'm
I'm good.
imagining the YouTube.
Yeah.
That'd be great. It'd be awesome.
All right, Breezy, it's down to the two of us now.
So we have 20 minutes
And
before
we
we
have
have an
20 minutes.
absolute hard out. So Matthew,
You ready for this?
I believe in you.
Okay.
I don't actually, but you can do this. Please.
On the field for the men, host a playoff game. I'm not putting the win restriction on like Jay is. We are moving to a new league. This league is. I don't care if you've read from like USL soccer Twitter and people shitting on Next Pro. They don't think it's good. They think it's a bunch of children. Folks, every year, dozens of players from MLS Next Pro are signing contracts into MLS. It is the place to be. Your USL or your regular MLS Next Pro teams may not be at the quality level of like a Louisville City or a Tampa Bay Rowdies or a Sacramento Republic. Maybe they don't get that kind of investment. Those teams spend fucking loads of money. And with money, they want to win every game. They want to win every year. And that's not necessarily what some of these two teams are about. They want to be good, but they want those players to be good, and they want those players to be drilled in the system and be prepared for the next level. And they're willing to take some short-term on-field results to build something better for their first team. And I get that, and that's fine. But if you think this league is just going to be like dog shit 16-year-olds playing like they're worse than the Savannah Clovers, you got something else coming to you.
Yep.
It's not going to be that way. It's going to be challenging, and the expectation that we can dog walk NISA and get out and go dog walk MLS Next Pro is just not going to. I just don't think it's going to happen. We've got to raise our level. We've got to bring in quality players that can compete. for the next level, because this is the next level. And I'm not going to sit here and say, I want to be a win. I want to win every game. I want to be the best, whatever. Like, I want to get to that point, but I understand that progress is not linear. And there will be some jumps here, maybe
Breezy
a
is
setback there.
side-eyeing the living shit out of you right now.
I want
I'm
us
gonna see
to
if he's getting to 3 minutes on his first bullet point.
I want us to be good enough to get a home playoff game, because CFC at home in the playoffs should be magical. And though we've struggled in the last few years, that's where I want us to start out from and build on in the future. And hey, you make the playoffs, you get a chance to do anything. Maybe we need to be on the road. Maybe that would help. I just hope we can win a game. On the women's side, on the field.
That was 3 minutes on one bullet point, by the way.
On the women's side,
you had 10 total. You have 6 left.
it'll be fine.
7
I got
left.
this. I got this. On the women's side, on the field, okay. I wrote down what I wrote down. It actually was, assuming the WPSL splits back in the 2 divisions, I want to win the division. Top 2 of it similar to 2023. I was thinking.
That's where I was.
I was thinking about like writing something in that's like, be good enough to beat Nashville once, which essentially would give you a chance to be the best team in the division. But fuck that. Like, just beat them twice.
Yeah.
Like, be the best team in the division. It's time. This is who we are. We are Chattanooga. They are Nashville. They suck. It's time for us to take them. So there's that.
So it's not top 2. It's just win the division.
It's just win the damn division.
Okay, I'm erasing your.
If it's one big division, I guess be top 2. But honestly, even then, fuck them. Nashville was better than Charlotte over the year. Like, let's just be
Cool.
best.
So it's just win the division.
Just win.
Make up your damn mind.
Just win. Off the field.
I really like this one.
I'm gonna re-up this.
This is a really good
I
one.
mentioned this one at the end of last year's, and I'm gonna mention it again. This is not a secret from the front office as well. Like, I've talked to Madison about this last year. Babies come with hats. Whenever a child is born, they are given a little hat to keep their head warm, sometimes a blanket. And I want that hat to have a CFC logo on it. And I guess put the logo of whatever hospital that the partnership is. But I want a partnership so that every kid born in Chattanooga, or most kids born in Chattanooga, are born with their first CFC hat.
Born a blue.
And someone should probably run some marketing tests on like if born blue is okay or not, considering like the whole health complications and that aspect of things. But like, someone smarter than me can figure that out. Babies are born with hats. And I think that'd be a really cool partnership. It's not the first. This is not an original idea, but it is a great one, and I want us to find a way to do it. I want to paint Main Street blue. Like, let's get with UTC. Let's get with the city. Let's decorate Main Street and let's make it blue.
With physical paint.
All roads lead to Finley Stadium. My third thing is I want CFC games are like events, especially now. There's so much more going on, even outside the game itself. But I want to turn. I felt like for a stretch there and in the NPSL, and yes, it was because of the summer and a short season, and sometimes the playoffs, if we did it right, lasted almost as long or even longer than like the regular season home portion. I want to turn CFC games into like must attend events. Like you had to be there type events every weekend. And got a lot of new staff people. We're in frankly a better league where we can afford to make plans and know that teams are going to like uphold their commitments and not, fold mid-season. And I want to really get us back into a place where we came close to 3,000 or whatever it was people attending games last year, and think about how like that was a regular thing, but war games must attend events. Mm-hmm. I want us to see if we can get there and like truly be the talk of the town every weekend. My last thing, the international and domestic transfer market. So historically, all of our transfers are been players that we bring in on free transfers. I want us to participate in the transfer market in the coming years. This is more of a shortish to medium term goal. And that goal is I want to see 4 deals, whether outgoing or incoming. And there can be, say, 2 deals for 1 player. Bring him in, sell him on. I want to see 4 deals in the next 5 windows. That is before the 2026 regular season. I want us to participate. Buy a player, develop the player, sell the player on, or some version of that, because that is a massive potential for revenue.
Yes.
In a way that clubs are able to like make up their revenue side
And to be good.
and
and
be
be
good.
good.
It is
Yeah.
a model that exists
Yeah.
and works.
Totally. There.
And like we've not been able to do that, especially not having access to P1 visas.
Yeah.
So like now's the time, and we don't have to be amazing at it. We don't have to go sell a player in the next 5 years for $1 million. That'd be fucking cool, but we don't have to do that, right? Like, but we can do little things as we build the academy. We can also work and find good domestic players to bring over and get their pro career started early. We can find undervalued foreign players to bring them in because the U.S. market's really good for them. We can attach sell-on clauses to them so that we can get them into MLS a little bit cheaper and better for the MLS club in terms of the acquisition because they have to amortize all that to fit in the cap. Put a sell-on clause on them so when they sell off to Europe or whatever it is, we get a bigger chunk of that pile, potentially even more money than we did on the original sale. We can do all of those things, and that will help us make us good, which is priority number 1, but also add revenue to help us come closer to sustainable long term.
You have written here at the end, housing, stadium, training facility, indoor facility.
All of those are more medium to long term goals that I still want to see. I still want to see happen. And like I said earlier, sometimes you don't see progress on that until it's happening.
Yeah.
But those are things that we have to long term figure out.
Beautiful. Well,
9 minutes, bitch.
you've said a
Dude,
lot.
Matt, that was long as fuck, dude.
My man. You actually said a lot of things that I agree with, so I don't have to
You didn't
expand
even
as
need
much. Well, I deserve my 10 minutes. Thank you.
You still have them.
Also, I
actually.
need to actually leave the room. I need to leave my house in 10 minutes. So on the field, I want a league finish for CFC men home playoff. I don't care how that works. I don't care how things are structured. I just want a home playoff game. That is a big stretch. You said all the things about the new league, but I'm hoping for a home playoff game. And that's the only thing I'm putting on the men for league finish. League finish for the women, playoffs on merit, whatever the layout, whatever the thing is. Meaning I'm not going to consider it a success if 2 years ago where 3 teams dropped out and we made the playoffs. Don't miss me with that shit. We make the playoffs based on merit. And then for CFC men, I want to allow 20 goals or less, and I want to score 40 goals or more. And then the CFC women, playoffs. I just want to make the CFC women only have one goal. Make the fucking playoffs. I don't care how, by hook, by crook. And look, if there's 5 teams included in the playoffs, by some random weird quirk because we have a 10-team division, then cool. Your goal is 5th place or above, but it's just make the playoffs. And I don't care. You're going to get graded on a curve based on how hard it is to make the playoffs, but we got to be making the playoffs for the women's team. And men's team, I want to host the playoff. Attendance for the men, I want is in the stands is what I titled this. 3,500 for men. I want a nice bump. This is MLS Next Pro. It's our next level. We are staffing up in the front office for a reason. We are becoming an even bigger club. So I want a big 500-person minimum because I said earlier, I think we were close to 3,000 on the average. I want to be up to 3,500 on the average. And for the women, I want to hit that 1,500 average. Same one as last year. And both of those would be pretty big improvements. And I would feel good about that. Stream improvements. This is something that Jay said on last year's pod when I re-listened. He said in-stadium replay. And I want to see that this year. I believe we will also see in-stream replay, though it's listed here just in case. Look, there was big steps forward with our stream last year overall. from the production side, from more camera angles, and they haven't happened during the year with Zeka and Gabe. Like, it was really great. I don't know what things are going to look like. I think we
Things
may be,
are about to change big time.
I think things may get outsourced to MLS. I think they're going to face the cameras towards the. So I didn't even put that on there. I think they're going to face the cameras towards the stands with the people in them. But bottom line is not the only things, but the things I'm measuring this year. I want in-stadium replay, which would be a big step forward. I think in production and a really good gauge on kind of how much moving forward on the in-stadium production part. And then I want in-stream on the stream. I want replays. And then I think the stands should reflect our community. We've said different versions of that. I do think there was progress on that last year. I feel good about that. And like the direction that we're going, I see more. I see our stands being less lily white. And like it's not bad that there are white people at the games. It's just you don't want it to only be white people at the games, right? Yeah. You want the stands to look like our community looks like. And I believe the last like 4-5 seasons, every year we've seen a little bit of progress. The stands look more and more like our community, and I just hope that continues. And I know that that's also a priority for the club because Elton has told us as much, that is a priority. And then I want progress on player housing. I don't know what that looks like. That's in the medium term. I want to break ground, or the club to break ground, the foundation, whoever it is, I think it's the foundation actually, to break ground on Montague.
Yeah.
The soccer portion of Montague.
All those trees.
All the trees.
It might be the city.
So by the way,
however that works.
But here's the thing. If the city doesn't break ground on Montague, for example, until 2025, okay, that's a different thing. But the year in which the city breaks ground on Montague, and I believe it's going to be in 2024, I want us in the same calendar year to break ground on the soccer portion. And because what I'm worried about is that soccer portion was contingent on raising funding, and I'm worried we won't get there. I'm not saying I don't have any inside information here. I want that to happen. I think that's massive for the city, for the club, and most of all for the community. And so I really want that to happen. So I just want to see that happen, the break ground this year. And then I also had a sell a player thing in mind. I want to sell a player from 2024. So somebody on the 2024 roster, I want to sell them in late 2024 or early 2025. Meaning I want to move somebody up the food chain because I want somebody to see. I want other players and I want us to see that we can develop players and that we can help be a stepping stone in their career and we can help progress them forward in their career. We've done it for executives. We've done it for players, but we've never gotten any monetary compensation for it. And I would love
Fuck you, Pittsburgh.
I would love to, hell yeah. I would love to
Shout
get
out Rayleigh.
Some actual monetary compensation and a real player sale in 2024 or 2025 from a player from 2024. I think that would just show a big step forward on the sporting side, on the men's side.
Should try to file a claim with FIFA and get Pittsburgh to be transfer banned for a couple of years.
I mean, I think some of the MLS teams already are. Anyway.
I have one thing I want to add. I just completely forgot to say this. This is for all of the front office. There's a guy named Isaac Dantzler who's been running the scoreboard. You don't understand what a fucking asset that guy can be, and I feel like he might be like nobody is listening to him. I got him on Owen's team. He started doing the scoreboard. I'm telling you, he's a literal genius. I work with him every day. He loves doing the scoreboard. He is not a sports person. He's simply tech, and he's the perfect person for that job. You can give him the shittiest PNG, and he'll go find the real PNG that he needs and make his own graphic that you messed up on to put on the scoreboard in 30 seconds flat. So I just want to say, if you're listening to this and you're in the FO and you haven't heard his name, ask somebody at the club about him and please inquire into possibly continuing to use him. And that's my piece.
Hell yeah. Everybody, thank you for listening. Listeners and viewers, thank you for watching. Ellie, Jay, Matthew, thank you for joining. Mix and Toby, thanks for being good boys.
Please like and subscribe.
And leave us a rating and
done.
review. Check us out. And
you,
if you got a clip moment, please
Holler.
comment clip and
We would
then
love
say
that.
it and then we'll figure it out.
Also, comment on social media and on
Oh,
YouTube.
yes.
Please let us know, do you have resolutions for the club? Do you have resolutions for yourself? We didn't talk about any personal ones that we might have, but maybe we will in a future episode. Who knows?
More puppies.
Let us know.
Let us know
More
your
puppies.
CFC resolutions for 2024. Peace.